Hey everyone, Rarity Dash here, and it's time for another reaction request. And the video today is why you should watch Kaguya-sama Love is War from Schaffrillas Productions. So this is a channel that I've reacted to a couple times on the channel already. And this video, I guess, is going to be promoting Kaguya-sama, which is an anime that I actually don't really know much about. I remember it being popular a few years ago. But I never really looked too far into it for whatever reason. Going into this, not really sure, and not really having too much of an impression of this show. But I've enjoyed this channel in the past, so I'm sure he'll make a good case for it. Let's go ahead and start it and find out.
Funding for Schaffrillas is provided by Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business.
It's Valentine's Day at Schaffrillas Academy, which means it's time for a very special episode all about an anime! People often ask me, Shafe, when is your weeb arc finally gonna start? And to that I say, it already has and you just can't see it. Everyone's weeb arc starts off small. Maybe you start getting into the Persona series, or maybe you watch all the Ghibli movies in order to do a ranking of them. You know, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a weeb yet. It just means you're checking out some very popular and acclaimed games and films that just happen to have a ton of Japanese influence. No problems here. Anyway, while working on my Ghibli ranking last year, I became absolutely smitten with the best animated movie of all time, The Tale of the Princess Kaguya, and began showing it to the rest of the Shafe gang. After showing it to Jalisa, she mentioned,
"You know, before this movie, I'd only ever heard of the story of Princess Kaguya from watching Kaguya Love is War."
And I said, "What's that?" And she explained the premise to me while also playing the first OP, which made me realize, holy shit, I need to watch the show immediately. So I did. And I'm gonna be honest, after 5 or 6 rewatches of the entire series, I'm pretty sure this is one of my top 10 favorite shows of all time. This is definitely another Lake Michigan monster situation, where one person in my immediate friend group recommends a thing to me, leading me to spread an unhealthy obsession with that thing to everyone else in the group, culminating with me hopefully getting all of you obsessed via a video. Kaguya is of course a lot more well known than Lake Michigan Monster, but there's still a ton of poor souls who haven't been exposed to this show's magnificence, and I'm here to rectify that today.
So far I'm more intrigued by
is a
Lake
slice
Michigan
of life
Monster.
romantic comedy that follows 2 Japanese high school students named Miyuki Shirogane and Kaguya Shinomiya. He is the president of student council, she's the vice president, and
I guess
they're both
it's presented as
hopelessly
a
in love with
romantic
each
comedy.
other,
That's
but
probably
neither
why
of them
I
wants to
never was
confess
really
it
that
to the
interested
other.
in.
Sounds like a
It's not
pretty
a
standard premise for
genre
a
I really
rom-com, right?
typically go for.
Oh yeah, I forget to mention how the 2 of them use psychological warfare to try and trick the other person into confessing their love. This show essentially highlights 2 master tacticians at work, trying their best to outwit and manipulate each other in increasingly elaborate and absurd ways. But their flighty secretary, Chika Fujiwara, remains oblivious to their feelings for each other and what they're doing all of the time, often screwing up their romantic plans because she straight up just doesn't know what's going on between them. For instance, in the first episode, Kaguya crafts a situation where Miyuki's presented with 2 tickets to a romantic movie, trying to get him to invite her and inadvertently make his feelings for her clear. He tries to play the situation off coolly and say that it's Kaguya's call, putting the pressure back on her in this mental battle. And then Chika thinks they just don't like romantic movies and gives them tickets to a bird movie instead, throwing off both their strategies in hilarious fashion. The show describes her as chaos theory, which is pretty apt all things considered. And with this basic premise laid out, the first half of season 1 gets rolling, and it's a riot. Since getting into Kaguya, I've watched a ton more anime, and yet I still consider this one to be the funniest I've ever seen. But I'll get into the reasons why after I run through the rest of the characters. Cause the world of Kaguya, which is initially mainly confined to these 3 characters in this one student council room, quickly expands as the show goes on. We meet the brooding treasurer Yu Ishigami halfway through season 1. It's interesting to think there was a period of the show he wasn't present, cause now I absolutely can't imagine the show without him. He's a solid bro to Miyuki, but his initial extreme fear of Kaguya, which eventually blossoms into a genuine friendship, really steals the show. We get to know Kaguya's personal maid and confidant, Ai Hayasaka, aka Best Girl. Don't even get on my case about that, the show itself literally said so.
She's right, you know.
I mean, she
And
kinda
that's
looks
why
like
she's Best Girl.
It's canon, bitches.
You had to erase this!
In season 2, we meet Miko Ino, a strict rule-abider who needs to be taught to
fade
let
in
loose
there.
a little bit more.
I guess that's
and
another
there's
anime
other
he stripped
characters.
out.
I don't know, watch the show if you want to meet them, whatever. Part of the reason the ongoing war of wits between Miyuki and Kaguya never gets old is because the show smartly decides not to focus on their romance Royal Rumble in every single episode, often fleshing them out individually or giving the side characters some development and time to shine. I absolutely love it whenever the side characters in shows are strong enough to carry an entire episode and you can just follow their misadventures for a bit without the main characters showing up at all. You don't miss them. And I really must stress how potent each character's development is over the course of the series. Kaguya and Miyuki are both initially somewhat cold to each other and in general, but it's wonderful to see them warm up over time, especially Kaguya. Ishigami starts opening up more over time and becoming a much more active member of the council, which is really beautiful to see. Chika stops being entirely airheaded and becomes extremely passive-aggressive in season 2 onward, and I don't know where that came from, but it's so funny. Great stuff all around. One aspect of this show I really love is how easily identifiable it is in spite of its absurdity. Like, I think anyone who's ever had a crush before can relate to overthinking every little thing they say to you and what you say to them, as well as having your brain make a big deal out of the smallest interactions you have with them, either positive or negative. And this show captures those feelings perfectly through the larger-in-life reactions the characters have in their inner monologues. It's not just the writing either. I think the show's strongest suit comedically is the animation, and just how hard it goes in depicting potentially mundane conversations and situations.
Yeah, it does look like there's a lot going on with
and
animation
most
here.
creative of ways. It absolutely goes off the wall in the best possible way. I've read a bit of the manga that Kaguya is based on by Aka Akasaka, and by a bit, I mean I cleaned out my local Barnes & Noble of every issue they had in store. And the anime is extremely faithful to how the manga was written. Like, it's pretty much word for word for the most part. So a lot of the credit for this show does go to how well written and funny Akasaka's original manga is. But I also gotta give it up to A1 Pictures for pouring so much care and passion into the visual presentation of this series. Like, I think in no small part thanks to their efforts, the anime is actually a little bit better than the manga. They're practically identical writing-wise, but the creativity of the animation and the excellent comedic timing add so much more to the story and characters. It's really something special. And this is A1 Pictures we're talking about. Now, I'm pretty new to anime, so I don't really know the hierarchy of studios and which ones are the most respected within the industry outside of Ghibli, but I have not heard very kind things about A1 Pictures. My only previous experience with them was the Persona 5 anime, which is f***ing abysmal and should not be watched by anyone.
Yeah, I never got around to it.
But then they come around to give us this masterpiece with so much more effort and attention to detail poured into it. Correct me if I'm wrong, people who actually know anything about anime, but I kinda get the impression that A1 Pictures is like the DreamWorks of anime studios. A lot of the time, they don't try very hard, but when they do, they put out f***ing bangers. Now let's talk about a bit of a touchy subject. Dubs. I know most people swear off dubs entirely, and obviously they're not always that good.
They're girls and cousins too. What?
But as someone who watched this series both subbed and dubbed, I honestly think you're missing out by not giving the English dub a chance. Not only is every English voice actor excellent, contributing so much to the comedy of each scene without a single weak link in the cast, but the English dub is also the only way to fully enjoy the unsung hero of the show, the narrator.
Remember when I said we'd get to the home visit later? It's later!
I would describe the narrator in Kaguya as unhinged.
More drama, anyone? Huh? Okay, let's do it!
There's so many hysterical moments with this guy that come not from the writing, but just the way the voice actor delivers his lines. You can tell this guy is having a fucking ball with this role, and the narrator's investment in the lives of these crazy kids is just priceless.
That can't be right, though. It's way too good to be true.
But it is.
This might be my favorite use of a narrator in anything, even beating out Arrested Development. That's how good it is. And to be fair, the narrator clearly isn't the only one having fun with his role. The voice acting is just so strong and filled with so much effort that it's wonderful. But if you really want to stick to the subbed version, that's still excellent as well. It was how I first watched the show, and I still loved it, so yeah. I also want to touch on the fact that this show isn't entirely comedy, actually. There's some legitimately strong dramatic stuff by the end of Season 1, and especially Season 2. It only makes sense that Kaguya and Miyuki's longing to love and be loved could feasibly be played for drama as well as comedy. And yeah, you do start to feel legitimately emotional for them. Especially Kaguya, who as the daughter of an incredibly rich and powerful family, has led a sheltered and incredibly lonely life before meeting Miyuki and the rest of the student council. The show can casually introduce a character trait for her in a joking manner like this.
She's a little starved for familial affection.
And then by the end of the season, we actually get to see the extent of that and how much pain she hides deep down. Without going into details, because I really want you to experience this for yourself, that's what makes the season 1 finale such an unexpected powerhouse and an absolutely beautiful episode. And the drama, which isn't over dramatic and is still balanced well with the comedy, just continues from there. Hayasaka laments the fact that she doesn't have a love as strong as Kaguya and Miyuki's, and even seems to slightly resent the fact that they can't just confess to each other and be happy. We get to see Miko Ino's backstory and why she's such a stickler for the rules. And then there's season 2 episode 11, the penultimate one in the season, and the pretty much unanimously agreed to be best episode of the entire show thus far, which drops a fucking tragic as hell backstory out of nowhere for one of the side characters. I don't even want to say which one. It's worth going into blind.
You never include the ending when you summarize!
I'm just dumbfounded that a show could make me laugh so hard and then turn around to give me a fucking silent voice level tearjerker. I've said this over and over again, but this is my favorite thing in media, when something can make me laugh and cry in equal measure. If I'm laughing, that means I'm making a connection with the characters and becoming way more enamored by them, which in turn means when they start crying, I start crying. It's such a novel thing for art to do, and this show nails it. I already loved it before it started getting dramatic, but now, yeah, it's easily secured a place in my top 10 favorite TV shows ever. Like I said, it's the kind of anime that you don't even need to be an anime fan to get into. It's just an extremely funny TV show that anyone can enjoy. But don't just take my word for it. Just like with Lake Michigan Monster, my friends are all smitten with this show, and they have a ton to say about it as well.
Chaff Gang members.
Oh wow, Kaguya video, hello. I got into this show about a year ago at a friend's recommendation, and since then, I've made countless posts and memes about how cute it is, and how funny, and how emotional, so it was amazing to introduce it to other people. My personal favorite episode is still the aforementioned Tale of Princess Kaguya one. I mean, don't get me wrong, Season 2 Episode 11 is amazing. I just love the meaningful connection behind the main character's name, and the fact that Miyuki says he would write a different ending to that story's tragedy, although I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that has the same energy as people saying that if they were Orpheus, they would just simply not turn around. Anyway, this moment hit me in the feels, so I'm going home!
I've been tasked with saying my thoughts on Kaguya, and I have no idea what James has told you to this point, because I won't be watching this until it's released. Anyway, on that note, this show is very, very, very good. I cannot give it enough varies before the good, and I cannot give it enough goods after that first good. The show itself is incredibly well paced. It's nothing too slow, it's nothing too fast. It ties together everything from the manga very, very well. After reading some of the manga that James has given me from episodes that we watched, it ties it together perfectly. The animation, chef's kiss. The characters themselves are very well written. Chika is very fun and lovable. Kaguya is also lovable. I know James will probably mention something about his favorite waifu known as Ai Hayasaka. She's very well written. Certainly not up there with Chika, but that's just because I'm more of a person that loves a dumbable, lovable goof. Another chef's kiss is the opening songs. They're just, very, very well done and very, very well good. They just get you in that mood immediately to watch Kaguya. And speaking of watching Kaguya, I've kind of stolen the Chika dance and put it in my stream, so if you want to, quick self-plug there, if you want to check that out, you can come by my channel. But anyway, don't take my word for it. I'm sure there's people either before me or after me, one of the two. Take their word for it as well, because we've all watched it, we all love it. It's just an amazing series, and I can't recommend it enough.
You know, I've seen a lot of anime in my day, but never have I been wowed of expectations such as this. I mean, like all the other anime, fuck it, just get it out of here. Like, Mob Psycho, fuck out of here. Death Note, more like Death Notice this ratio, boom. Cowboy Bebop, more like cock. And then Attack on Titan, this cool. Shit, I should probably, like, take care of these things. Like, I probably should have not, like, smash it in the ground. Good God. Okay, but for real though, I fucking love Kaguya Love His War as much as everyone else does in this video. I did not expect to be this off the walls of a romantic comedy anime, and this just wowed my expectations of it. Just everything about this is just great and comedic and just touching in its own way. I really enjoy the characters here, especially Yui Shigami, which in my opinion has to be one of my personal favorites because I love how well he's developed later on the show. Yeah, I've seen dubs, I know like some are hit or miss, but this one's just, it has like abridged Ghost Story levels, but not as high as Ghost Stories, but it has somewhat of that energy. but it stays true to the show, and it just works. Like our good Lord and Savior Todd Howard has said, it just works. But yeah, please go check it out. Again, season 3 is right around the corner, so this is gonna be. I can't wait for it. Also, what's this I hear about a Kaguya OVA? I've never heard of it. There never was one, and there never will be one. Take off your fucking clothes.
Now, I got into the show a little bit differently from everyone else. I actually just came across it on Funimation, scrolling through and just looking for something to watch while I was drawing my favorite anime girl for the 32nd time. And I saw it and I was like, I've heard good stuff about this from the boys, I guess I'll check it out. And man, I'm so glad that I did. This show is funny. This show is cute. This show has a way of keeping you on your toes and subverting your expectations. Every single time you go in, it keeps that formula fresh, like Phineas and Ferb. Like, seriously. And, like, the cast is so good. I love every character in Kaguya, from Ishigami to the fucking ramen snob. And while Ishigami is definitely my favorite, I love me an emo boy, I was really surprised of how much I ended up loving Kaguya over the course of the series. Like, I came in and when I first saw her, I just thought she was like female Byakuya, rich spoiled brat. But over the course of this show, you kind of learn more about her and you realize she just wants to live her life just like anyone else. Kind of like the Princess Kaguya. But you'll just have to watch the show and see for yourself if you want to know what I'm talking about.
Kaguya-sama Love is War is a masterpiece, but you've already heard that
People
multiple times from multiple people at this point. I won't go into details about the music or the animation. They are all fantastic, as you have previously heard, no doubt. But I cannot stop gushing about the characters. Everybody is three-dimensional. I'll admit, with the first 2 episodes, the show had me worried a little bit. I was laughing my ass off, but I thought that maybe Kaguya was just gonna be completely manipulative and malicious, wanting to have Miyuki confess to her less because she wanted the 2 of them to be together and more so as a way of dominating him. But those fears were quickly cast aside in episode 3 when it's revealed that she has a caring heart. She helps a little babby girl reunite with her friend. Aww. Every character is more than how they first appear. Ishigami may look like a brooding, soft-spoken loner, but he truly values the newfound friendship he has with his fellow council members. Chika appears like a lovable, airheaded goofball, but she can actually be very mischievous and blunt towards her friends. These characters are so entertaining, especially the core
What is
4.
happening here?
If they made a podcast, I would watch every episode. So yeah, Kaguya-sama Love is War is excellent, and if you're not watching it, leave us. Go enjoy the show. And if you don't enjoy it,
oh well, we tried.
Schaffrillas.
So yeah, Kaguya-sama Love is War is a masterpiece. My favorite anime thus far, and undoubtedly the funniest one I've seen. Check it out wherever you can, and get excited because season 3 is coming out in April, so soon there will be more. Ooh boy. Anyway, that's about it. Stan Hayasaka, the best girl for all time. Good night, Shujin Academy. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention how much I love the episode where Kaguya doesn't know how Twitter works, or just computers and the internet in general. It sounds like she needs a lesson in how to build a beautiful website where she can anonymously blog about how much she loves the president. But how will such a website be built? Why, of course, it's using Squarespace. It's Squarespace. She should use that. Squarespace is a fantastic, intuitive, online website builder that allows you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. Present your work using Squarespace's professional portfolio designs. Display projects in customizable galleries and add password-protected pages to share private works with clients. You can even present your videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto on your Squarespace site. Add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's load speed by waiting to embed video players until playback starts. Every design automatically includes a unique mobile presence that matches the overall style of your website, so your content will look great on every device, every time. And if you don't want that, you can always disable the mobile view from Website Manager. Buying a domain from Squarespace is so simple because there are no hidden fees or price hikes. Each domain comes with an ad-free parking page and free WHOIS privacy on eligible domains. Squarespace sells over 200 top-level domains, so you can find the perfect name for your website. Choose a URL that ends in .com, .net, .org, or you can always get a more specific one like .art if you want to be fancy. If you're ready to share your passions or promote your business with the rest of the world, head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Schaffrillas to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Oh, there we go. I mean, it looks entertaining. I'll say that much. I don't know. I mean, it definitely. I think when I hear rom-com, that kind of does have a. It does set a certain expectation, which maybe this. I'm seeing this. I mean, this looks more comedy than rom-com, like how I would typify it. What I would typically expect when I hear the word rom-com. So I would probably like this. I think. I mean, all these people certainly did, and yeah, I don't doubt that it's good. I just, I don't know. There's not really. I'm not really seeing like a hook for me in particular here, though. That's the thing I would say. Like, I don't know. But, yeah, I'm sure it's an excellent show, and I do appreciate the passion that he clearly has for it. And, yeah, maybe someday I'll check it out, but I don't know, compared to how I felt after some of the other anime videos I've watched, I'm a bit less intrigued here, though, yeah, again, I'm sure that if I did watch it, I would probably enjoy. Anyway, not really much else to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Let me know if you did, and see you in the next one.